Well, hey, everybody, TexAgs Rewind, David Nuno here. Look, I got to make a public apology. I didn't realize I had hurt Nick's feelings on the show today. And look, he made, just being guys, right? Just talking on the show. Nick, I'm sorry, man. In fact, Eric over here at the News and Social Center, he'd give you a hug. I won't, but he'll give you a hug.
I'll give you a hug, Nick.
Appreciate it. At least somebody is willing to make amends. I mean, you said sorry, so, again... Well, are you willing to answer my question now that you know what I was trying to ask? Which was, do you think...
Yes.
That's your answer?
The question that you asked on the show was not the question you meant to
I understand,
ask.
Yeah. I acknowledge that now.
Even though you dressed me down with Trisha Ford in studio about that, but that's a different conversation. Do I think there's going to be more ejections because of this? Yes, I do. And I think it was a good question because I think even you could hear the frustration from Schloss and other coaches around the country about some of these changes. Do I think there's going to be a day where somebody's going to get in trouble? Absolutely. Yeah, I do. I do believe so.
We should put you on a pitch clock or something.
Put on these rewinds?
Yeah.
You do? You always tell me, we got to be like 4 minutes.
I do.
You got to get out.
We got plenty of time today.
Oh, really? Oh, you didn't like the show today? So you're saying the days that we don't have that much content, I can go longer because you didn't.
It's just how it works out. Sometimes they work out to be a little longer. Today they didn't.
Hey now. So what is you tell me. What was some of the best stuff on the show?
Well, the Go Hour with OB and Charean Williams is pretty good.
Wait. Why'd you go, like you're so like this?
I'm trying to be professional here. Trish Ford, of course, we had her in studio. Former A&M wide receiver Jason Carter. I don't know why you're still up there. Here we go. Former A&M wide receiver Jason Carter was on the show, and Tom Hart. Always a blast.
Yeah, it was good. Appreciate that, Nick, and virtual hug for you, buddy. Here's TexAgs Rewind.
My thinking is Devon Achane's going to be a first-round pick of the Kansas City Chiefs because he's very Tyreek Hill-like, and if anybody can appreciate that, it would be the Chiefs.
Well, that's a good point. I don't think they take him in the first round because they got him. They could probably still take him in the second round, and that may be a second-round pick. I don't think he goes in the first round. I just don't know that any teams value players like that.
They took Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round.
I know they did, and it was a mistake, wasn't it? He hasn't lived up to what, where they picked him anyway. He would absolutely fit there, and it's a good comparison, I think, with what he can do in the return game, and they do value that. And look, the two worst teams in special teams last year were the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't think he goes to the end of the first round, but if you would tell me the end of the second round, I would say, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
By the way, what she just said makes me completely devalue special teams. When the two worst teams in the NFL and special teams were the two teams in the Super Bowl.
This is true.
Exactly right. And I said for the Super Bowl, I said there will be a special teams play that will help decide this game. And there was a punt return that got to get to the 6-yard line, I think, and it helped decide the game. It was a big play in the game.
Hey, Charean, are you hearing anything on Antonio Johnson? I think tomorrow's DBs. Am I right about that?
Yep, tomorrow's DBs. I haven't heard anything yet, and I haven't asked around, but I certainly will before I come on here the next time, and I'll go listen to him tomorrow, and we'll see what's said. I think we have 3 Aggies here, right?
Maybe you're lacking the timely hits because you were getting the hits.
Yeah, absolutely. We just couldn't quite get the one, and we had some hard outs. Trinity Cannon hit a ball that, was 2 feet from going over the fence with runners on. It was just a game of inches. That's what this game is about. And so just continuing to hopefully, get those opportunities and then start to execute those when we need them.
Are you happy with the pitching against UCLA? It looked pretty good to start.
Yeah, Kennedy threw lights out. She was great. And so did Emily Levitt came in as well. So, yeah, pitching's going well. Just got to stay steady with it. But we're able to, work both sides of the plate, change speeds. Those things are going to be very important. And we're getting a little bit more vertical separation versus horizontal, which I think is making them more, successful.
I know we're still early, but have you seen any particular young players like, okay, I see the growth. There we go.
Yeah. I think, Grayson Coleman's done a great job. She's, been a DP. She's, caught for us. Riley Valentine's had some big innings. Amari Harper offensively has done some good things. But I think, everybody kind of, depending on the game, honestly, they're all kind of contributing. So I do think we're getting better, and I do think that as we're going to be prepared to get through conference.
Could Riley emerge as a potential threat for this team?
I hope so. Yeah. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, Emily Kennedy is only a sophomore.
Right.
And so you talk about, and so is, Emily Levitt, both Emily's, E squared, we call them. So both of them, I think are going to be special ball players.
How about this fun week ahead? We got Houston, Sam, and Baylor, right?
Yeah, we're finally at home.
Right.
It's been the first time since opening weekend. So we get a little Wednesday kickoff against Houston, and then we go up to Baylor, who's ranked, I think, in the top 10. I think they're in that area, 10 to 12 maybe. And so we'll play them twice and Sam Houston twice. So.
Hey, last thing for you. Let's talk about this current A&M football team. Obviously, this past year, you went to the Miami game, which was one of the bright spots of the year. They brought in Bobby Petrino to hand over the play calling duties and take over the offense. A lot of talent here. You think the ship's gonna get righted?
Well, I know one thing: if you don't, those Aggies not playing. So, I mean, it's for me. It's very frustrating because this whole these new age kids, man. You love them and you want them to do well, but where's the toughness at? Now everybody's got their hand out about NIL money, all these damn rankings. It drives me nuts. I think they should. I don't think kids should be rated at all. For me, because you'll see 5 stars and they look like Tarzan and play like Jane, and you see some kids that you will scrap you for your last nickel and dime, plays the game the right way, big heart, but he don't get any stars, and you wonder how people miss out on those type of players because everybody's going for these rankings, and it just drives me nuts because let's stop glorifying these guys until they show us who they are. You play this game is meant to it's a kid's game. So play the game the right way, and I just think for Texas A&M to be who they are, we there shouldn't be we should be in every conversation of playoffs. We should be in every conversation in the beating Alabama. If Kirby Smart can go in there and get that thing done right away and do it with toughness and understand that, then we should be able to do the same thing and find a way to get it done.
Yeah, and their last game with Kermit Davis, who they let go of, they played really well. They almost beat Auburn, came from behind, played great defense, hit some big shots, and almost won on the road at Auburn, which obviously very rarely happens. It is unpredictable, right? I mean, you get a change at the top. I remember when Andy Kennedy stepped down before Kermit took the job, and all of a sudden they were playing free and easy and playing great basketball. And I asked AK about it, got off the side, and he's like, listen, you get tired of each other. It's like a long relationship. I'm sure they were happy to see me leave, and that stress was off their shoulder, and they went out and played well. I don't think that's a situation with Kermit. I don't think he's overly tough on this team, but they've had so many injuries that they have had to deal with. Matthew Morrell being number one. I mean, he's a 5-star guy and hadn't played a ton for him. But in the end, I see people talking about this being a sleeper game, and I'm not really worried about it from an A&M perspective. I mean, Ole Miss is where they are for a reason. From a personnel standpoint, A&M's better at most, if not all, positions on the floor. And while they might, if you say they look fatigued, I'll take your word for it. I didn't get a chance to watch much of their game, but buzz is the ultimate motivator. And you're taking on a bottom tier team. This is a must win and a chance to get back on track.
Tom, Kentucky hot right now, man. All the talk about them. Are they even going to make the tournament? Oh, yeah, they're going to be fine.
Well, it's not just that they're winning. It's who they're winning against. I think their last 3 have been quad 1 wins. They knocked off Tennessee 2 Saturdays ago, which gave them a sweep of a team that was top 5 for a good chunk of the season. Oscar Tshiebwe had, I think, 27 and 12, so another big double-double, and that was going against Janai Broome, who's as good a shot blocker as we have in this league. And typically you'd think that would be a pretty good matchup.
All right. I'm going to let Eric do this one, Nick. Is that all right?
That's fine, yeah.
All right. Eric, tell the people what to do.
like, comment, subscribe, rate, share with your friends. And most of all, go Ags. They have a big week today. Or a big week this weekend. I already messed up. See, you put me on the spot sometimes. I mess up. But
hey, Eric,
share.
sometimes when you're talking, you just say things wrong. It happens to everybody. Right, David?
Yeah, I have a 3-hour show that I make a mistake every show.
I'll be sure
hour.
to point out every single mistake you make tomorrow. I can't wait.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Because have I ever given you constructive feedback on the show, or am I usually pretty positive?
Yeah, both.
Okay. Well, now both. I've been like, I don't like the way this one.
Oh,
Never.
no.
So now on, I'm changing. I'm going mean.
This is got to be the longest rerun of all time.
You know what? You're done. You're not allowed to do the show today anymore.
You talking to me?
Fade to black.